Like I try and that's why I be super nuanced in these conversations, because if you leave with these blanket concepts, I'm gonna play the game my way.
Yeah.
And then Monday punch them in the mouth.
Right.
And they boss come and they like, yes, a boss.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So play whatever
to
game.
office, play.
End of the day, play whatever motherfucking game you want, man.
But if you ain't going, yeah.
A, D, and there.
You feel me?
I don't give a damn.
I just want you to show up different. I'm letting you know what you're dealing with because I want you to show up different.
Why did you do that?
Man, that with these thick tongue 13s is knocking everything over today.
I got 13.
Oh my goodness.
I like my heat got games. Don't let
Golly.
And look, these are I ain't gonna hold you though.
The tongue gets thick. I hate it.
When I wear them, depending on what type of shoe you wear, sometimes you can't wear a certain
That and the
type
thick
of.
tongue 13s.
Sometimes you can't wear a certain type of jean because that jean do get in the way.
The reason why I can't lace can't offend me is because these were the first Jordans I ever bought myself, like out my own pocket.
Out your own pocket.
And so because of that, you can't offend me.
No, it's no. I'm not trying to promote offense. I'm just stating facts.
First pair of J's I ever bought for myself was the playoff 12s. I used my whole check from McDonald's, cashed my whole check.
I didn't know you worked at Mickey D's back in the day.
Yeah, I was a teenager. That was like my first actual real W-2 job.
My first one was Chick-fil-A.
Got you.
McDonald's.
Okay.
And I got fired for hooking people up.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. I can see that happening.
Easy nigga downfall.
Hey,
Nigga downfall.
Yeah.
Regular. Yeah, nigga downfall.
I got fired for hooking people up.
Type.
Yeah, I was. Hey, you need a large fry with that?
I was
Yeah,
gonna say
got you.
everybody's first job is a grocery store.
No, I never worked at the grocery store.
I never done fast food or a grocery store.
For real?
I was always in the retail space.
That makes sense.
So,
Okay.
I worked at McDonald's. That was like my first actual W-2 job, bruh. You know what? My first actual job, my dad's friend had a construction company, and he was trying to look for people to do work, whatever. And I said I needed a summer job, so my dad put us on, and I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna get some summer money, bruh. They had me working the same schedule as everybody else. I was 15.
They threw you in the deep end.
Bruh, summer break. I'm 15 years old, bruh. They came. I'm talking about 6 o'clock in the morning, bro.
Yeah.
6 o'clock in the morning, pick me up. I was getting home at 6 o'clock at night.
Whole summer,
Grown man.
man.
The whole summer, bro. I was working like a grown man. I'm out here with grown men. They irritated with me because I'm 15. They don't want to talk to me, so I ain't have nobody to talk to at work.
Right.
For 12 hours. We sitting in the beating sun. They sitting there with lunch boxes. I ain't got no wife to make me no lunch.
That's
Right. So you walking out the house with a
Right.
Lunchable.
Bruh.
A Lunchable and a tool belt.
I was like, yo, that moment, Lace, told me at a very young age.
That's what them jobs is for.
I
Yeah.
am AC, not DC.
Bro, I got
I knew I was gonna be indoors, but at that moment in my life, I
Yeah.
said I'm a white collar worker,
What is-
and I am never going
What's
to
the DC?
decentralized air, nigga. Outside.
DC.
I'm
Okay,
AC,
got you.
not
I'm
DC.
AC.
But I bet you this. You was fresh that year in high school though.
Oh yeah, I came back.
You was
the
fresh.
check was right. The check was right. No taxes too, because I was under the table.
That was
I'm not gonna
so
tell you
good.
who it was.
I got a.
You didn't get a
No
1099.
taxes. No,
I
I
did
know
go to
they did.
1099.
I got a similar story to that from my job at Chick-fil-A. First, to go back to the first thing, the first pair of Jordans I bought myself, I was actually in middle school, was the Air Jordan 2s, black and chrome, which they still have in retro. If they ever retro them joints, I'm getting them.
They have it. No, they're tough.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite shoes. Yeah. But I had a similar situation. I was in high school. First job was Chick-fil-A. And I had took a morning shift. So morning shift normally 6 to 3 or whatever. So you get there, and if you're gonna be there, you gotta be there early. So you show up 5:30, whatever. Same thing, 16, 17 years old, something like that. I show up, we get through the whole shift, and this is senior year of high school. Get through the whole shift, and it was a lady who was like grown, that I had worked that shift with. And we clocking out. It's like, okay, cool, 3 o'clock, 3:15, whatever. We clocking out, whatever. She's like, yep, time to go to the other job. And I was like, the other job? I was like, wait a minute, you were here at 6 and you're going somewhere else? I was like, oh no, I gotta take college serious, bro.
Right.
Ain't no way. That can't be
back.
my life as an adult.
Yeah.
After what I just did to get up here at 5:30, no, ain't no way,
The type
bro.
of jobs that I've done.
Now, my uncles, they had a cleaning service when I was in high school, so we would clean like the local grocery stores, Best Buy, Value City, all that kind of stuff, or whatever. Running the buffer and all of that.
No,
This ain't gonna be it.
that ain't
I
it,
can
bro.
see Blaze now buffing floors.
Yeah.
Hey, looking
was
like,
killing it,
looking
though.
like T.I. and ATL.
Swan
Cleaning service.
I know Lace took all the easy jobs. He took the machine. He like, I got the vacuum.
Yeah, you know
I
what
got
I'm saying?
Lace.
I'm
Like,
gonna
I
wipe
ain't
down the
doing
windows.
Here, you know what I'm saying? All of that.
Lace took all the easy jobs. I know Lace
me
took
and
the
a
easy
homie
jobs.
that I grew up with in church. My uncle would always complain to him about me, like, I don't like the way LaShawn working today. First of all, it's 4 in the morning.
And
bro.
I don't want to be here. Let's talk about that, bro. The amount of jobs I worked is crazy.
Yeah,
The type of stuff that I've done from when I didn't do McDonald's, most of the time I spent working at cell phone companies.
Yeah, you
Like
were
all
you
of
were
it. I
that
was
self.
bro, I did a rotation, bro. I did Sprint, AT&T, Verizon,
Dang.
Intellos. Used to be Alltel.
Right,
Alltel,
yeah.
Bro, I worked at all of them.
I
Kiosks
tried
and in the store.
I tried my hardest to get on this cell phone company. No one will hire me.
For
They
real?
wouldn't even bring me in for an interview.
That's crazy because you would have done well.
He really
the way
would've
you
done
like
well.
to talk and engage.
He's like,
with
hey,
people,
you might
would've been
need a.
killing.
He's like, you might need the case
right.
with the phone, the hip clip.
And that's when the hip clip was fire, bro. The hip, I might bring that back.
Hey, remember we used to buy car chargers?
Yeah,
We legit used to have to buy a car charger, like
Yeah.
a lighter
the
plug in the
cigarette
joint.
lighter,
Yeah,
yeah,
the
yeah.
cigarette lighter joint,
Yeah.
bruh. They used to be
Yeah.
trying to upsell us like
You
I
can
was,
tell me now
Hey,
with
bro,
my
I
hip
was
clip,
hustling them
bro.
accessories when I was at the.
OtterBox too.
Oh, yeah.
Bruh. That used to be the thing. Used to be like, that's when you knew you made it. You like, I'm gonna spend $50 on
buy a
a case.
case, add 3 pounds to my phone just so
Right.
I can have a
Yes, sir.
case.
So
And
it
that
don't
was-
break.
And this was when Amazon wasn't even a thing. So
It
you
was
can't
not.
even go to a third party type. You
Right,
gotta
you had
get
to
it
get
from
it-
the
You either
store.
get it from the store or you get it in the middle of the mall.
That's right.
That's
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Which I believe the middle of the mall joints, them joints is drug fronts. I'm 100% sure them joints is drug fronts. People are washing money
With cell phone cases.
through the yes. They
What?
might.
With-
They
with-
might.
with-
I
with,
never see anybody buying a case from them joints, but they stay in business. It's because they laundering money through them joints.
Yeah,
I'ma
I do. I like that is a good question though. How are cell phone case shops still in business? The ones at the mall. Because I can't remember the last time I've actually
People be
bought a
buying
case
them
in
stuff.
person.
Bruh,
I
that's
saw
you
it on
washing
Amazon.
money,
You
bro.
also have an iPhone, have a
That's what I'm
nice,
saying. I buy
have
it
a
off
nice
of
job,
Amazon.
a nice bit. But I'm saying you got to think there's 8 billion people in the world.
Right.
So everybody's
And-
somebody's customer. It's a bunch of Android people and people walking around with second-hand phones and needing all that. It's all
And
types
we're
of
in a different
stuff.
place of privilege now.
Yeah.
Like you just said, I'm gonna go on Amazon. So you have no desire. Like let me run to the mall and get me
The
a
world
You
we
gotta
live
think-
in where Amazon is a privilege.
It is.
No,
I'm
You
just saying,
gotta think-
saying like the world we
Bruh,
live
but
in.
you
where
gotta
Well,
think-
you think
Amazon
about
is
it,
a
it kind of
privilege,
is.
bro.
You got to have internet. You got to
That's
have
what
a
I'm
source to
saying.
get to the
Right.
internet. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hey, bro, homeless people got cell phones, bro. I don't want to hear all that.
we
Gotta
gonna
have
talk
internet
about
type of
that.
stuff.
We gonna talk about that.
They got cell phones and stuff. Hey, we gonna get into the real pod.
Let's
but,
go, man.
we
Let's
gonna
get
get into it, bruh. So I did cell phones and stuff like that, right? At one point in time, I tried to get back. I needed a job. I was low. Only person that called me back was Wendy's. I went to Wendy's. I worked 3 hours.
He's like, I'm in now.
I said absolutely.
I had a
I took
yeah.
I took my drink right off, bruh. Walked right out. I ain't say nothing to nobody. But I came back the next week to get my little 3 hour check.
That's
Oh
good.
yeah, you
Bro.
gonna get
gotta
that?
do
Get
that.
my 3 hour check.
I'm gonna get my
That was me with Portrait Innovations. I quit Coca-Cola and I was trying to figure out like what I was going. No, yeah, I had quit Coca-Cola. I was trying to figure out what I was going next. So I was already working in the mall, but I was looking for something that paid a little bit more. And Portrait Innovations is like one of the preset like studios where you like go in, take your family pictures, you can come in. It's like super automated. So I went in there, interviewed, got the job, went in there for training. I think I maybe worked one shift. I had a pop-up shop coming up that weekend. I worked maybe 1 week. I think I went to 1 week of training because they also had at that time they had you had to have a clean face. So at the time I only had goatee, but you know I had this grow in there once in a while.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget I had shaved and the guy who was like the training was like a VP. He was like one of the founders of the company. He was like a VP. Yeah, he was still training new employees. So that was one red flag for me. But then also too, he came up to me on the first day. Was like, "Yo, you got a little And I was just like, bro, I'm not about to get into
we're
a
not
conversation,
doing
discourse about black people and shaving. I'm not
About
going to
these
have to
family
educate
portraits.
you on. I'm not dealing with all. I worked there for maybe a week, bro. I was gone.
I did electrical work for 90 days once. For real. No certificate or nothing.
Yeah.
The people was needed.
And I'm sure that house burnt down.
I actually
done
can
all
see.
type of stuff,
I can
bro.
actually see Mel doing
I've
a
done
lot
all
cannot.
type of stuff, bro.
I cannot.
Running wires and everything.
Yeah, I
setting
cannot.
people's alarm system in their house and everything.
Now
bro.
that I can see, but you said like I'm.
No,
thinking
I mean like legit.
electrical,
We're
electrical.
running the wires, like running the wires through the house and everything, and
Yeah.
then and setting up the program and everything like that. Bro, I done all type of work.
That's wild.
That's how I knew. Like you doing all that, make you realize I'm not built for that. I don't want to do that. I'm not trying to do that.
No, that's real.
That's why I went back to college.
That's real. That's real.
I got out here in the world.
That's real.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to another edition of the Manly D's podcast, where we have honest conversations that every man needs but rarely gets to have. It's your boy Melly Mel, aka Meek Mel, aka your favorite truth teller, aka if you don't want to know,
Don't ask me. It's your boy T. Roy, your neighborhood hope dealer. If you need some hope, I got something you can borrow. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow.
What it do? Though? It's your boy Dr. Life Coach Lace, aka NBA Old Boy, aka I'm him, aka Mr. Big Shot, aka Lucky Luciano, aka the menace no relation to Dennis.
Let's get it.
What up, world? It's Dave. Dave has wings. I'm back in here. I'm doing my thing. Keep your mind elevated. Keep your feet on the ground. Subscribe to the pod. We're gonna keep polishing that crown.
That's it.
All right, so
Hey.
two things. I do want to get to the homeless people and cell phones, but I need to ask Lace a question because you worked in retail. You worked at Finish Line, right?
Finish line, foot action, foot locker.
All right, so you talked about the big tongue on these 13s, right?
Yeah.
So these are the 13s.
Crazy work.
I know, right? So I got these and I ordered them from Finish Line, had them to bring them to pick up at the Finish Line in Lynchburg, right? They got the email. It said, "Hey, your shoes have arrived."
Yeah.
Went to the store and got to pick them up. Homeboy was like, "Oh yeah, we ain't got them joints." I was like, "No."
They
The
backdoored
email
your
say they are in stock here.
Yeah.
And it's time for me to pick them up. He's like, "Well, I'll go back and I look." He went back and he looked and he said, "Bro, we ain't got them." Did he steal my
He
shoes?
backdoored your joint.
Oh yeah,
Oh, they
absolutely.
stole them shit.
Yeah,
They're
he
gone.
backdoored them joints. He charged. His homeboy came. He was like, "Hey, bro, I got
Yeah.
13."
Charge you got the 13.
And then if they was 150 at the time, he took 175
flipped
or
that.
180
Yeah,
and took
absolutely.
the 30 or the 50 off the top and gave him to his homeboy.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what
And
happened.
it's not an inventory loss because he said you
exactly.
can't
It was a
pick
trade.
them up.
Yeah.
and
It
sold
was
them
transfer
to somebody
in,
else.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got finessed.
So
How
what
do you think we used to get the shoes back then?
I mean,
Like,
that's
how do you
You
think that we
must-
used to get them?
You got finessed.
So okay.
that's how I used to eat back.
So
in the day.
how was I gonna get my shoes?
What
you
do
was
you mean?
wrong.
You're gonna file a claim and say
Right.
that you never got them, and then
Yeah.
it becomes a customer service issue. I don't have to worry about
It's
that at the
beyond
store
me.
level.
It's
above me now.
Yeah.
Stop playing.
That's what I used to do all the time. Like I would look at like say for instance if Jordan was being released. I would look at my size run. Okay, I got these sizes coming. I had everything sold before the release date. Are you kidding me?
100%.
Are you kidding me?
100%.
Why you
that's
think,
when-
why you
and
think
that's when
dope
I
boys
knew,
are
like,
always fresh?
All
Hey.
the hustlers and all
Yeah,
that.
why you think dope boys always
Hey,
fresh?
hold on real quick. Pause the podcast. Homeboy in Lynchburg, run my fade. Run my fade. Because you made me go to Roanoke and go pick up my 13s. When I see you in Lynchburg, run my
Yeah, he
fade.
looked in the inventory and was like, they got
Run
a
my
13 over
fade.
there. He covered
And
his
nah,
tracks beforehand
Run
too.
my
Yeah,
fade.
oh yeah.
And I forgot your name, but I'm gonna find you on Facebook. Run my fade, bruh. You sold my Jordan 13s that I worked hard for. The first ones I ever bought for myself. And you sold them to somebody. Run my fade.
Hey, bro, we never know what somebody
One-on-one scrap.
You never know what
And
somebody
I don't
going
care if you're working at Finish Line. Still, run my I'm going to fight you in front of your manager. I'm going to fight you run my
man.
fade.
Hey, you know what's crazy?
I was eating back then.
You know what's wild? Bro probably forgot he even did that to
Probably
Troy.
did.
He just like,
He forgot about Troy the same day them shoes was
right,
gone.
exactly.
Same day them shoes was gone. He forgot about
and,
it.
and that's the sad part. He's supposed to be my homeboy. Because we was playing, we used to play pickup ball.
He wants your homeboy.
He want my homeboy. Run my fade. Run my fade.
Because we hooped.
Run my fade.
Yeah,
Run my
I'm
fade.
glad, I'm glad we talked about friendship a while ago. We talked about the levels of friendship.
Bruh.
Because, yeah, just because you hoop with them.
yeah,
Don't
nah.
mean that they friends.
Yeah, man.
Nah, run my fade.
You got to keep people in them
Yo,
groups.
you had high hopes, bro.
I had high hopes. Bro, you think about it.
How old were you?
Let's see, in Lynchburg.
So you were an adult.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was grown.
20,
You were an adult. This was your first First time buying your first pair of Jordans yourself.
Myself.
Now I know why you was holding on to that moment.
Yeah,
so
it
much.
was momentous.
Yeah, nigga was 38.
First of all, I was 28. I was 28. Take 10 off of that.
Yeah,
Take 10 off of that.
Getting my
You was
J's.
30 years old buying your first pair of J's.
My first pair of J's, my first time coming out the pocket more than,
Retail price.
more than retail price. You know what I'm saying? To go get my joint. So yeah, run my fade. In regards to homeless people with cell phones, I feel like that's only in America. And I don't want to be insensitive. Okay.
Well, first of all, the subject itself.
I don't want to be insensitive. I don't want to be insensitive. So, disclaimer. If I say something improper, I am willing to be taught. So feel free to teach me if I'm speaking out of line. Anybody online? No, I'm
Mel like, this the problem with people right now.
It's the problem with people, bro. It's the problem with people. The fact that we got to make disclaimers about. I'm just saying the fact that we got to make disclaimers about generalized conversation. That Jumby, come on.
And I know the first thing. They're not homeless. They are unhoused.
Correct.
Okay,
Our unhoused neighbors.
Our unhoused neighbors. Okay, so let's go ahead and put it that way. I feel like only in America the unhoused can not only have cell phones but also feel the need to take care of a pet at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you struggling to take care of yourself. Why do you have Fido with you at the stoplight?
Because America is also one of the only places, and first of all, I don't think America is the only country that's the thing. I would say developed nations in general, probably. Yeah. But anyway,
that's my friend.
I would also say America is probably one of the only places where animals get treated better than people.
Absolutely.
In a lot of situations.
And
Dogs
think
in
about it
general.
too.
People have more compassion. Somebody driving by would probably have more compassion for the dog than they would
homeless
for the
we can't say homeless.
You can say homeless, bro. It's cool.
Oh, okay. I'm just.
But
checking.
just in other contexts, you start
Right,
dealing nonprofits and all that kind of stuff. It's just
Unhoused.
unhoused.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What? Never mind.
And I mean, also too
Because everybody has a home, Melvin. We're all a part of this
Well,
community.
I just was wondering where it came from. Why we stopped saying homeless.
Well, words
to say for
evolve.
unhoused.
They have impact. So let's just think about it.
Again, we're all. This
Put
is
on your system 2. Don't think out of your system 1. Put on your system 2.
So why does everybody? I'll save it for the Black History Month episode.
I mean, because it's kind of like what you said earlier.
I'll save it.
It's
for
like
the Black
it's
History
like
Month
what you
episode.
said earlier. We don't call ourselves Negroes no more, but
Right.
at one point it was.
See, I was talking about the
acceptable.
N-word, but I'm just saying we changing all these words, unhoused, and can't say other certain words and this and that. But everybody still want to say the N-word. Why we ain't coming up with a new term for that? Why we ain't trying to evolve the N-word?
we did.
Well, that's
Nobody took it off
society.
because it was. I remember a solid time where everybody was running around my niggas,
Right.
my niggas.
Why we ain't trying to evolve the N-word?
But I mean, that would be within our community. Majority of the time, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm willing to be corrected, the majority of the time, the reason why words are being changed are because of people outside of our community
Right.
trying to make these
And
No, I'm
changes.
saying, but black people been telling people that they shouldn't be saying the N-word for God knows how long, and people still saying it and feel like they can say it. But I can't say homeless because it's disrespectful.
You
to
talking
people
about
who
you talking
need
about people
it.
outside the community using the N-word?
Yeah, in general. I'm talking about in general. I'm talking about words that we evolved to try to accommodate for others.
Well,
Is anyone
that word
evolving
has-
the N-word
that
to
has
accommodate for
also
others
evolved though because we use that in
amongst
various-
black people? I'm talking
Right,
about
yeah, right,
society as a whole.
Well, I mean, again, nobody at the job calling you a Negro or the blacks or anything like that. So
When I'm not looking to my face.
But I'm saying, regardless behind closed
To my
doors, you
face.
never know. But I'm saying words evolve, and nobody's saying you can't say homeless. It's just being mindful.
I'm just talking about word. I'm using homeless because that's the conversation
Sure,
we have
that's
right
what
now.
I'm
But
saying.
there's
That's what
the
I'm using as an
evolution of
example.
words is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So
I mean, a lot of it, honestly, when it comes to like words evolving, like specifically the homeless piece and stuff like that, it just has to do with people setting a new precedent and
That's
trying
it.
to establish themselves and like writing books and like all of that kind of stuff, and it becomes a part of it. It gets accepted into like a sub thing and kind of like
Right.
levels across. So because homelessness is such a large issue across America, people are doing research, they're writing books, they're writing reports, they're doing all these different things and spending all this money studying homelessness instead of helping homeless people. That it becomes a thing where it's like, well, we don't, we're positioning it differently and it sounds better to the donors, and it's all of those types of layers of things, and that happens across industries. That's not that's just using you know what I'm saying, nonprofits as an example. You know what I mean? But a lot of it just has to do with people trying to set a new precedent because they're driving a narrative against something that they're staking their
How much do you think it's virtual signaling?
Some of it's that too. I mean, that comes outside. I think that comes outside of the people that's like the second or third rung. I would say the initial people who are doing the research or whatever, they probably have good intent, or maybe they're probably getting paid to do that research and whatever it is. But then once you get to second, third rung, like the random person in Seattle who's like fighting for people's they're definitely like you know, virtue signaling in a way. You know what I mean? Let people know I'm tapped in. But again, virtue signaling to who? Because if you don't roll in circles where people would care about whether you use homelessness or unhoused, then it won't make a difference.
It wouldn't really
That's
matter.
why I said it's more of an industry thing. It's more of an internal thing. Some people obviously try and leverage that in different ways, but
Yeah, because the unhoused person that I spoke to, he said he was homeless. So
again, that's what I'm saying. You getting away. It's around the people who are talking about those people. It's not about the people that are actually in the condition.
I'm not laughing.
It's not a uniform concept per se, as Dave is mentioning. Like it's more so depending on the circle, depending on the type of conversation, the level of engagement with it, you may use those terms interchangeably.
Yeah, you maybe if I'm in a city council meeting, and I want to soften the blow because my district has the most homeless people, and you bringing up homelessness and saying, well, district such and such, why you ain't doing such and such? I'm like, well, first of all, they are unhoused neighbors. Okay,
correct.
I care about them greatly. It's that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a way
you
to.
about to die over there.
Mel just want to say the word.
I just want to be able to talk.
You
I
can't.
just want
Just
to be able
never
to
be a
talk. No,
politician, and you can
feel
say what you want.
And I feel like I would be a great politician because I would just talk like
would be
this. And
That's
what
how
people
we.
need.
Never mind. I ain't about to go
To
there. That's
be
how we
honest-
end up.
to be
there.
honest with
It
you-
depends on
to
what
be honest
platform
with
you're
you,
running on.
if y'all pay attention now, a lot of the politicians who are more successful are the ones who would talk like me. People,
and
people
that's-
are
but they
finding
don't.
honesty.
Don't look like
They don't look like me, but I'm saying, okay, see, and that's the other thing.
But they don't look like you.
That's the other thing. If I was to do that,
they
Some
don't look like.
They be
Why
like,
both
some
of them
of 'em-
connect?
because, bro, you can get up there and be like, man, we need a Negro,
please.
We've already gerrymandered your district. Don't worry about it. He's not going to win.
Negro don't have a
but-
but I'm telling you, politics.
You know
need
what it would
somebody
be like?
me, bro.
If Mel ran for office, it would be like when Keeping It Real goes wrong on a Dave
Politics
Chappelle
needs somebody
episode.
like me, bro. Politics needs somebody like me. I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
We just need to be. We just the issue that I be having is not. It's not that conversation is not being had, because conversation is being had. It's
Sure.
just the way in which it's being had, where everyone's dancing around
That's
the
how
topic.
it is.
No, it's the way
Everyone's
it's being
dancing around this.
presented.
There it is. Because at the end of the day, politics is about compromise.
Absolutely.
So you can say what you want and appeal to your base on camera, but once you get in them back rooms, you're going to have to do them deals, which is why the country don't ever
Exactly.
go nowhere.
Exactly. Because at
still-
the end of the day, it is about you and your succession and what you can get from it behind closed doors. Think about it. Think about it. Think about, I mean, if you just look at
They literally shut down the government because what was the issue that the healthcare.
right.
The government was shut down all them days, TSA, all them long lines, because Democrats wanted to have some type of, or they come talking around universal
Reform,
healthcare,
yeah.
keeping the reform and healthcare reform, and the Republicans was like, nah, that joint's coming out the bill.
Right.
And they just sat at a stalemate for however many
Based on
months.
word.
Well, that I have no problem with. I'm talking about I'm not talking about that.
But it impacts
This
it.
what I'm saying.
But it impacts it.
I'm talking about not that's direct. I'm not giving you that. You ask me for something, I'm telling you to your face, I'm not doing that. And this is why. That I respect. I'm fine with that. It's the talk around politics that I be talking about. Like I could ask you a direct question, and because you playing word games and semantics, you're not gonna answer my direct question. Like it just happened recently with the young lady who was on camera with the young dude. He asked her, can men get pregnant? She refused to answer the question. They talked for 15 minutes. He asked her the same question 10 times directly. She danced around the question for 15 minutes instead of just answering it directly in general. I'm talking about just conversation that's not direct, that's ambiguous, that is this. No one is addressing the elephant that's in the room.
Right.
And I'm saying that politics needs somebody like me that's willing to talk directly about issues, talk directly about what it is that we're dealing with. Not
Won't
give
be there long
this.
because you're not playing the game, man.
I don't need to play the game. That's the problem.
talker-
and
I'm
that's what I'm
saying the
saying.
ta-
Why
I'm saying-
politics needs somebody like me who's unwilling to play the game.
All right, so
He gonna
let
be
me
like
say
Bernie
this.
Mac in that one movie when he ran for president.
With,
And
yeah,
he was
Rick-
like head of state.
Chris Rock, yeah.
Head of state with
he was
Chris
like,
Rock.
how you think about NATO? I don't know NATO. I don't talk about nobody else. I don't know NATO.
You talking about NATO Johnson? No, I know NATO
See,
Johnson.
I talk about NATO Johnson.
I didn't know. I'm just saying, at this point, we all could agree that everybody is tired of games. Everybody is tired of it. We all want to just be able to hear the truth. We want to be able to hear what's going on. We want to be able to talk openly, honestly about what it is that we need to fix, what it is that we need to accomplish, and we just tired of the game. So
I
if
disagree
there was
with that,
someone,
though.
That people are tired of games?
No, not that people are tired of games, but I think that people seldom are able to quantify the truth. I put it to you that way, because truth is based upon belief.
They'll say truth is subjective in those spaces.
So based upon the question you said, can men
your
get pregnant?
truth and my truth, could
Right.
be two
I don't be
different
doing
things.
that. See, I don't like that either.
That's the truth, though.
That's how the spaces work.
And that's
Because
the
the
truth.
truth for somebody who lives in Ballantyne is different from the truth from somebody who lives on the west
Right.
side.
But two things can be true. It's not an either or. Sometimes both things are true.
But there's only a finite amount of money, Mel.
Right.
The money got to go somewhere.
Bro, y'all are talking. We having two different conversations right now.
No,
Y'all
I'm
are talking
speaking
about the
on-
willingness to make decisions. Where does money travel?
no,
I'm
I'm
talking
not
about
talking
the direct conversation that happens in politics that does not happen.
I'm saying
Forward.
I'm saying it doesn't happen because we're talking about where the money goes. I need to position myself best to determine at the end of the day what happens. That what you're talking about is a symptom and it's a byproduct of how the system works. The reason why you wouldn't be accepted is because you don't play it, because you're not. If you're trying to call me out in front of this and we haven't talked about this in our back, like there's a meeting before the meeting before
Correct.
the meeting.
Correct.
So this is all performance. That's why people talk around whatever, because I just need to survive the moment because the deal is already made.
done.
Yeah.
We already decided what we was gonna do. We did that when we was in committee. We just here because we have to hear what the public say because we're public servants. This ain't real. Politics is not real. So that's what you're getting annoyed at, because the real happens behind the closed doors.
Right.
And that was my first experience hearing that when I was in student government. I was in student government. I was a student body president at Winston. I had 6,000 constituents. I was sitting on the board of trustees, had to deal with the stuff of what was going on with the board of trustees. So you got grown people in here
Right.
that are supposed to be leading this university, that are talking about doing different things. So you got people coming to you like, hey, so what do you think the students will think about da-da-da? Well, I think the students will think about da-da-da-da-da. And what do you can see that these are adults on two sides of
Right.
the issue, and they want to leverage my voice as a student in this space. I also would go to the Association of Student Governments, where all of the UNC system student governments would meet once a month. And now you got voting blocks that are coming up. So you got all the HBCUs and all the poor white schools, and it's literally a microcosm of what the world is. You got all the HBCUs and all the small white schools in a block. You got your swing states, or your swing schools. So that's your people who in the middle, your app states, and
Probably Winston.
your
Wake Forest.
Pembrokes. No, Wake Forest.
No, Wake
It's
is
private.
yeah.
This is like
Oh,
all
gotcha.
public,
Okay,
state schools. So you got your UNC Charlottes, all them people, they in the middle. So you got to try and swing them on because the person who leads the ASG, that student sits on the board of governors, which is
Right.
where the decisions are made for the UNC system. So people want to be able. That person can only say what we legislate as a body. So now, if I want certain language in this document to represent my students' perspective to show up at the board of governors, we got to figure out how we get through this language.
Yeah.
And we would be in these meetings arguing about these sentences for 4, 5, 6 hours. And then we go back to the host hotel and everybody getting drunk together.
Yeah.
So I was like, if this is how we doing it in college, I already know what's happening.
absolutely.
I already
Yeah.
know what's happening
So
at the
y'all
highest
think
level.
I'm too honest to be a politician?
Not too honest. I'm just
You
saying
too
that
honest with yourself.
it just doesn't. It doesn't.
I'm too. Honesty cannot exist in
It's not that honesty
politics,
can't
but-
exist. It's just that there's a game to be played.
Absolutely.
And what you're commenting on is the language in the game and not the backside of the game where
Right,
the deals and stuff
right,
are done. Where you
right.
can be honest. Where you can say like, Jim, that's stupid. Because my base thinks blah, 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 blah. So I need to do da, 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 da. And then how that shows up performance-wise, maybe like, well, me and Jim I think our constituencies are aligned on the
And
blah,
that's my
blah.
issue. Why do we have to do that?
Because it's
It's
the
a
game.
game.
I'm saying
The
that's
game
the
is
part
the
that I'm saying.
game.
Why do we always
Well,
have?
you're
Why
not-
are we always
because
accepting
because if we made a deal, this is it. Because if we made a deal, right? If all of the politicians are already aligned on something, and we're supposed to be serving the public, and the public comes in and doesn't agree with our deal, now we actually have to deal with the consequences of what's happening in the
Right.
performance. We've already made a decision as the leaders of the space. I'm not finna open the door. It's like it's like when you're dealing with your children. If you know that if you know there needs to be a specific outcome, there are certain decisions that you would, it's crazy to even say this out loud, but it's like there are certain decisions that you would and wouldn't present to your kids. There are certain decisions you would or wouldn't allow for them to make for themselves. There are certain decisions that you do. It's the same thing with some of these issues in politics. For whatever advantageous reason that they have behind closed doors, it's easier for us to make this deal in the background, and then we all gonna lock arms and perform together to get through this public comment section. Now, if I'm somebody who's on the other side of that issue, I may try to leverage the audience against you, which is why they're trying to close as many doors, because they're supposed to be serving the public. So you want to keep the public sentiment in your favor. That's the game of politics.
Yes.
In that arena, when you're sitting at the dais, when you're in those meetings.
Yeah.
That's the game of politics.
And if you can create enough confusion,
Sometimes that's the strategy. Sometimes that's
You know what I'm
strategy.
saying?
They don't know
Like-
what the heck is going on. So we just gonna get this thing passed anyway.
So couldn't I get more of the public sentiment if I was honest?
No, because that's the thing. You would think that, but I'm telling you, I watch it happen all day. I worked on the arts and culture plan for the city. I watched the levers get pulled. I watched artists and creatives be leveraged against their own interests because they don't know how it works. So you can be honest. You can be, or I've watched people who are in politics and sitting in seats argue against something because they're again trying to position something to their base, but it's actually for the good of the community. Mm-hmm. I've seen people like hold up the institution that is, or people who are actually for the creative community, who are actually qualified to do the work that they're going to do, but because they don't look like typically, and I mean, again, these people work perfect. I'm trying to keep it's nuanced. I'm trying to keep the nuance out of it. Don't want to say no names, whatever. But I've seen somebody who's sitting at the dais who doesn't understand our creative economy, creative community is new. You're a new council person. You've never dealt with this issue before. And I've seen people who have been in the creative community doing this work have built a career in an organization doing this work, be derailed because a city council member wants to make a point to their base and make it a race issue.
Sure. Yeah.
And you're holding back black artists by not giving this black artists are actually aligned with this organization, but you're not allowing for these funds to go through or for them to be able to facilitate this grant process because you want to make a point and you're trying to win political points and position yourself as for the black community. But if you actually were tapped in with black artists, you would know that like, yo, we actually are cool with them. We work with them. They listen to us. We actually have the ability to have progress despite what you're trying to say while you're sitting at this dais. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing about like, it's the game is a game, bro. Go over for wire. It's the game, bro.
I will say this, Mel. You are correct. We need honesty. We need it. Unfortunately, the way that it's structured, they don't want honesty. They want people to play the game.
Absolutely. I mean, even think about the frat. I mean, all the iterations that go into certain things. We know when we get in them meetings, delegates sit over here, y'all vote this, that, and the third. We know the decision has been made by the time. Like as soon as the meeting over, we sending out an email. This is what we do.
But I don't be playing those games either.
I'm saying.
I know what y'all are trying to tell me about the game. You're trying to teach me about the game and explain it. I'm just saying I'm just saying I refuse to play it.
No,
I feel you,
and that's why you wouldn't be successful in that realm. That's what I'm saying.
to get to the core.
It's like, bro, I'm gonna be successful at basketball playing football. I'm gonna be out there with pads and shoulder pads and a helmet on.
No,
and everybody else.
You can be in the game. You can be in the game and play the game a different way. You don't have to play the game the same way that someone else is playing the game. I can be in the game and play differently. I don't have to play the same game that you playing. I don't.
That is true.
To be successful, I don't have to do that.
And I think
we always just go to the fact, oh, this is the game. This is the way things are. I gotta play the game. I gotta play the game. I gotta play the game.
Scale, bro. That's what it is.
Yeah. And I also think to today's point, it's the navigating the system, the aspects of the system. So yes, you could play the game differently. You could have some level of success. Mm-hmm. But that would also have to be determined on how you view success, what your truth is, and what you're bringing to the table in that regard. Because the game is also larger than aspects of what we can produce at certain times, particularly in those settings.
So y'all saying the only way to be successful is to play the game?
No.
I think
the only way to be successful is to play the game.
Because the game,
we all playing some game.
Because the game is tied into the system. If you want the system to move forward, you got to play the game, bro. It's the whole. Again, you talk about people playing the game differently. You talk about Huey, Malcolm, Martin, all these different people. These are all people who played the game and played it differently.
Yeah.
And they all ended up dead.
But they all found success.
In their own way.
But success came.
Sure.
So what I'm saying is success came and they didn't play the game.
No,
it depends on what you classify as success.
Okay, it cost them their life. But they didn't play the game the way everyone told them that they had to play the game. I'm sure there was someone around sitting there telling them, if you don't do it this way, you're not going to be successful. You're not going to be able to do that because of this. You're not going to be and they refused to listen
But at the end of the day, they were playing the game.
But they didn't play the same game that everyone else was playing.
Yes, they did. You can say that they played it their way, but you're not going to get out of playing the game. That's the point. That was the whole point of the series The Wire.
Yeah.
Was that the game just shifts. New players, new position. The game is the game. Mm-hmm. It's the infrastructure we live in. You ain't getting out of this, bro. Slim Charles gonna be the new kingpin. This person is gonna take over. Slim Charles gonna go meet with the Greeks. What's the name is gonna run for governor. This guy's gonna become the leader of the state troopers. It's all connected. It's all just pieces moving on the board because of the system we live in. This ain't hunting and gathering. This ain't bartering. This ain't actually what you kill, what you eat. You gotta have a skill to survive. some of these people's skills is literally maneuvering and manipulating people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
the manipulation piece.
that's the game, bro.
So that's why I asked. So you really believe that the only way to be successful is to play the game?
You have, yeah. That's why I said yes. You have to be. You may not have to know how you're gonna play the game, but that's the only way. If you're gonna participate in the system, absolutely. And even if you don't, sometimes,
Yeah.
like that's the.
But you
game
can play the
is
game and be truthful though.
No,
You can be true to yourself.
yeah.
But again, it depends on how you
exactly.
It depends
It's
on how you
levels,
measure.
bro.
It depends on
It's
how you
levels.
measure.
It's levels.
said
Being
success.
different. Again, it depends on what game. We just talking about politics as an example, but you can have success at city council, and you're gonna need different strategies to be successful at the state level, and you're gonna need different strategies and different skills to be successful at the federal level.
Absolutely.
It's a different game. It's the same game, but it's being played differently at different levels.
Yeah.
You got to have a certain amount of leverage. You got to have a certain amount of money. You got to have a certain amount of political pool and alignment across. You got to get these people who run in the union over here on your side. You got to get the police union, the firefighters. Then you got to get all these different people aligned to your platform or find a piece of your platform that they relate
fits.
to.
Right.
Because that is
What would
the
be
game.
your platform, Mel? Out of curiosity.
Great question.
What would be your political platform?
I don't know. I ain't never thought about it.
Oh, okay.
I've never actually thought about it.
Here it is. His platform would be the truth will set you free. That would be his platform, and he would come out saying, "I'm not going to sugarcoat it like everybody else does. I'm gonna tell you straight up. It's homeless people out here. They're not unhoused,
and they don't need cell phones. And they don't need cell phones.
Oh my goodness.
And that's the truth. Right.
And the truth shall set you free."
I didn't mean to derail us, bro. But
That's not
that's
my-
real. No,
That's
you-
this is actually a real conversation.
Yeah, you brought great
These
context.
questions I'm asking to really bring out.
Bro, people again haven't been in some of those spaces, haven't been, you know what I'm saying, adjacent, had a business that had government contracts, and again just advocating for artists and other folks and being in these rooms. And like I said, my political background from college carried me into a space where I was able to advocate for black people, black artists, all that kind of stuff in the city. I've seen it happen. I've seen all types of things.
Oh yeah,
from the systems that we live in, the apathy of some folks, the people who have been in office for a long time, understanding how like that's my issue with most people in general. And y'all talked about politics a couple episodes ago before I joined the pod, and that's one of my challenges with engaging. And it's important. And actually, it's kind of important we have this conversation because there's a really big midterm election coming up at the end of the year, and most people are attempting to engage with a system that they do not understand completely.
Agree with that.
And not to say that you need to be a political guru, because I'm not.
Right.
But, I have probably more experience than the average person just based off of what my career has been up until this point. And I think that more people should be doing research to understand. Like, you probably got people that can't even name the 3 branches of government.
Facts.
That are voting for, and we all get a vote. And you all see what that got us and what we dealing with right now. You know what I'm saying? And that's the challenge of the game and people playing the game differently and whatever. And to the point of what we was talking about earlier, when you look different, you can do different things. You can kidnap other people's presidents. That's playing the game different, right there.
That was wild. They went and kidnapped a president of another country,
Of a sovereign nation.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like
All for what?
Oil.
The bottom line. That's what I'm saying, though.
Where's the money going?
All of that feeds into it.
He told the truth though.
What was the truth?
He ain't lie about it.
He ain't lied
He
about
told
it.
the truth.
Well, I think
he told the truth about that.
I'm just saying. He told the truth about a lot. He lied, but he told the truth about a lot though.
I think that's
He tells the truth about a lot. He do lie. He do lie.
That's because he's not smart enough to play
but
the game.
He do tell the truth about something.
Correct.
Actually, he's privileged enough to not have to play the game.
And now you have it. You have it. And that's real too, though.
Bruh. All right. I'm not harping on it.
no.
And so people
I'm just
say
saying,
the same thing about
think about
corporate
his
America.
rise into said role. Now that was not the norm. That was not the normal pathway. But again, if you can sell people on a dream, not based on truth, because your platform is I'm gonna tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
His platform was sold on a dream.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get poor
Where's the wall?
right?
I wasn't looking for one.
You wasn't, but you wasn't.
I
You
wasn't looking
wasn't.
for
But
one.
I'm
Right.
saying the whole first joint was we gonna get the wall and they gonna pay for it.
Right.
Yeah.
First of all, there's already a wall. Second of all, like, oh my god,
And
bro.
that's what I'm saying. But as you mentioned, individuals not understanding the 3 branches of government, how those kind of things, even electoral college, how those kind of things work. and you can feed into an individual's insecurities and promote fear.
Yes.
You can, that's how you do it. Telling the truth ain't it,
Bruh. Talk
he
about
told no truth.
as long as you
He
can,
sold a dream.
as long as you can play on people's fear, you
you can do
always have
anything.
somebody's vote. I remember
Yeah.
Anywhere.
when we was in Lynchburg, there was a dude running for attorney general of Lynchburg, whatever the case may be. And I read his platform. His platform was like, "I'm going to get the gangs out of Lynchburg." And I read that, I was like, "What gangs?"
Mm-hmm.
I've walked through this town freely wearing whatever color I want to wear.
He was in Windhurst.
He was.
I be downtown too. I'll be downtown.
The gangs are. Hey, look,
He
the
was
gangs
off
are-
Timberlake.
That's how people feel about DeVille. How you was just talking about Lynchburg. That's how people feel about DeVille.
What you mean? Oh, about his gangs and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. And so he's building his platform off of gangs because there was one kid who got killed by MS-13 in town. I ain't never seen a MS-13. I don't even know what a MS-13 would look like in Lynchburg. But because this one kid got killed by MS-13 affiliation, he ran on that platform and he had people convinced that if you vote for me, I'm gonna get rid of the gangs. His job was already done before anybody even voted because there weren't no gangs to be getting rid of. You know what I'm saying? But because he could plant that fear in there in the voters' hearts, that's how he gained all of them votes.
And you also got to look at who would likely vote for an individual like that. Those people aren't frequenting places in which there is
With gang
activity
Right.
or engagement. So
The people who live in areas with gang activity don't want the gang activity either.
They
They
won't
want the
vote for
same
him
thing.
though.
they
They
could,
want the same thing.
they could, but the community could also have a level of benefit from that activity as well, because there are some organizations that may not align holistically with the systematic view, but they are supporting their community in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? So
There's
you know,
two economies happening.
right?
But I'm
So-
just saying that they're for the same fear that other people have. Where you saying that don't frequent, there are people in those communities who have the same fear. Like, I don't want
Absolutely.
this
No,
either.
no,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I would agree
At
with
the
that.
end of the day,
Just
to
like-
Troy's point, though, it's not about actually benefiting those communities,
Right.
And that's
It's
where you
about
get to
keeping
talk.
the economic
That's the
system.
that's how he needed to be attorney general for whatever reason. He needed to be attorney general. So now he's using this as a platform, but he's actually not doing the work. So where to Troy's point, if you know what I'm saying, assuming all facts are true, this gang doesn't even really, that he ran his whole platform on, doesn't even really exist in this
Correct.
area.
Yeah,
So he's
yeah.
not even tapped into the point or the areas where there are gangs. So those people
Correct.
may want it, but they not even his constituency, his
Correct.
base, or his target
Correct.
to actually solve this problem. That's the misdirection that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. So that's how you get into these rooms where he probably had several conversations with people who were from real gang communities, or he limited them across his campaign. So there would be less opportunity for him to be exposed in the fact that I'm actually not tapped into the gang culture of Lynchburg. Because I'm pretty sure they're here. There's gangs everywhere. Or at least small organizations that are doing illicit activities. You know what I mean? So, but when somebody from a community who's actually organized probably show up to something and ask a question, probably get cut off, get talked around, and they get looked at as the crazy person in the room.
Yeah, that's how everybody look at me.
Nah, I wouldn't say that, man.
Yeah, when I start talking the
truth,
truth,
man.
no, when I start telling the truth, everybody look at me like I'm the crazy person in the room because no one is willing to have an honest conversation. When I'm the one that's the only person willing to have the conversation, I always look like odd man out. I look like the crazy person because I'm not playing the game that everybody else is playing. I'm not putting on the show and locking arms with everybody else in the conversation.
Well,
then when I do it, I get looked at like the crazy person.
Well, again, that's because you got to have context of the game to be able to play the game differently. If you just show up and talk like the crazy person, cool. If somebody who was organized, so using the same example and keep it going, if I was organized, I would show up with the gangs. If I was gonna play the game differently, I would show up and be like, okay, how are you gonna kick us out? And how are you benefiting our community? Because I'm doing this to the point of the underground economy. How are we gonna make sure our kids are lunches? How are we gonna make sure the star basketball player get his shoes? How are we gonna make sure all the different things that we know that these hood superstars take care of from time to time, on top of the negative, the good that comes with the bad, right?
Yeah.
If you was to have that conversation with somebody who's running for a political office, 9 times out of 10, they don't even know that those things are happening and wouldn't be able to respond to any of those things. So that's what I'm saying about, you got to know the game. Even if you're gonna play it differently, you got to know the game.
Correct.
And that's where most people fail. It's like, I could be a politician. I could stand up and do. It's like, nah, bro, because it's something they're not even gonna consider. You're not even a pawn on a chessboard.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what's happening. You don't know the game, so you can't play. You can't even derail it. You can't do nothing because you don't know what's happening. They're talking above your head and around you. They talking to each other and making eye contact and doing stuff, and you don't even know what happened.
Dave,
they made a deal and you ain't even see it happen, and it happened right in front of your eyes.
Dave, when you running for mayor, so
I'm not. I refuse.
So I can move to Charlotte and vote for you.
I refuse for all the reasons that we talking about. Is the reason why I refuse. I realize that, especially in Charlotte specifically, I would be much better off being an entrepreneur and having a really big business and being able to benefit the community that way because of the way Charlotte is structured.
You know,
like our mayor doesn't even have power here.
You know what's
and
funny?
Most people don't even know that.
Being an entrepreneur, making a whole lot of money, having power, you end up running the city more than the actual mayor will.
In certain cities, because you go to Chicago and try and pull something like that off, it's different because they got the aldermen, they got a strong mayor system. Here we got a weak mayor system, so everything is run by the people who are around the dais. Everybody who runs the districts has more power. The actual board has more power than the mayor. And somewhere like I believe Chicago has a strong mayor system. The mayor say something is law, and then the aldermen and everybody else has to adjust to that.
I'm gonna say something real quick. I was talking to Dave recently about politics, and he was saying, I don't know why people always come to me and ask me questions about politics. He was like, I don't know why people always think that I'm the go-to person for politics. When stuff go on and everybody reach out like, Dave, did you blah, 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 blah? Did you hear him talking for the last 40 minutes?
Yeah, we was locked in.
This is why people
was
come
locked
to you and
in.
ask you questions about.
I just want to be his armor bearer. Like, yo,
this is why people come to you and ask you about it.
The sentiment was like, it's crazy that people are coming because I was out the loop. So we had midterms. No, not midterms. We had. So our city calendar is on the off cycle of the federal calendar. So we had midterms last November. So everybody was getting together for we just got new city council, all that kind of stuff. So everybody was like, yo, what I need to look out for and I'm like, bro, I just had a baby. I'm just gonna transition out of running
out the loop.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what's been going on the last 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what's going on, bro. So the sentiment was more so like, I don't know why they coming to me, but it's like, I can't help y'all right now because I don't know.
Because you can help.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah,
right.
But
tapped
even
in at certain levels.
Yeah, even to that point,
it'll burn
as
you out, man.
Tapping in at certain levels, there's a foundational knowledge that obviously what you kick to us, that's what everybody should have an eye or a concept of.
Right,
and then there is the what's actually happening right now. But kicking it as far as kicking game, foundational elements, that is really what it's about because the average person doesn't even have that. And showcasing it in a way where you can utilize your experience even from the collegiate level and how that ties into what everybody is walking and navigating. That's real because I would travel with when I was in higher ed, I would travel with students and stuff like that, and I went to one of those conferences that had all of SGAs, and I was like, yo, and I'm a working professional at this point, this is real. They really do have a level of impact with state governance and all of that. So it is eye-opening, but most people who aren't connected or engaged even in that space, it wouldn't really make a lot of sense to them. And it does have an impact, lasting impact, if you will.
So the reason why people come to you because you was able to break it down for them.
No, I mean that's legit.
Because legit, I've been quiet this whole episode because I've been learning. But why is honesty not actually?
Why is honesty not actually used in these places?
It's like, because it's a game.
Why is it a problem?
And then you get to see how the games play. It's like, I'm learning this.
Yeah. But a lot of times too, we can look at. So say for instance, if homelessness or unhoused is an issue. Most of the time, we'll just say, well, how do we fix this? Rather than diagnosing the problem. And what you broke down from the game, there is outside of the problem, there's a whole nother diagnosis that needs to take place if you want to see some level of success or impact.
Yeah. And that's why everything else matters. Because to the point, even with there's hundreds of thousands of reasons why somebody is homeless.
Correct.
They could have a mental condition. They could have some type of addiction. They could just fell on hard times and couldn't get, and living paycheck to paycheck. They maybe just don't have a family support. Could have lost the job. There are millions of reasons why people end up there. And if so, it's like to fix those issues. It's not just about we just go and open more shelters. It's like, bro, you have to have the wraparound services to be able to address the different issues why somebody is like the homelessness is a symptom of something broader.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And then you got people that just choose that. You got people. It's crazy if you So I've seen different projects where people are talking to kind of document and talking to unhoused folks and telling their story and whatnot, and people are just like, bro, that also is a community even of itself. They build these encampments. People I remember I was reading one thing. I was like a photographer in the city, and he had talked to a younger guy who had became homeless, and he was talking about bro, he basically had a homelessness mentor. because they learn the rules and they learn how to maneuver. Like, yo, you can stay over here at night. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Well, you gotta watch out if you're gonna be over here. You gotta watch out for these people. Yo, you know what I mean? The police, they be kind of over here sometimes, and they'll lock you up for, you know what I mean? Like, there's a way in which to move. Like, oh yeah, we can go over this underpass because it's a little bit warmer because the wind blowing. Like, people start to pick up all this information and they learn, they adapt. That's what we do as humans. So when you end up in that space, like, this guy basically had like a homelessness mentor who was teaching him how to be homeless. Because you got people who also made that decision that, like, bro, being homeless is easier than going through the rungs of, like, bro, you know how long, you know how hard it is just to get an ID?
Right.
Yeah, because
you got to have an ID to get everything, and it can take you. You got to have the money. Right. You got to be at the space at a certain time. You got to have documentation. You got to know. You got to have an address. You got to have all these different things just to have identification, which opens the door to everything else.
And as you mentioned, those are the symptoms, right? The barriers that are in place in which, okay, I could be in this state and I know what I can get, rather trying to do something different, or what we would consider getting on your feet or whatever. All the layers that come, because we often view it from a place of privilege because we can just simply do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, if you have a mental, let's say you homeless because you got a mental condition, but in order for you to get your medicine for your mental condition, you gotta have ID.
Right.
You gotta have all these different steps just to get an ID, to get the medication to keep you from being able to function in the rest of society. And those are the things that, like, that's like 4 or 5 nonprofits or 4 or 5 organizations that you got to interact with just to be able to get your medicine, so you can think straight, to be able to
and then
be
you got to play
a
by
productive
that
member of
organization's
society.
rules.
They got compliance. They got all these different things for a good reason, but there's also people who play games within that space too, and there's money being moved around and all types of stuff. So my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. You're right. You got to play by the rules, because I know for some shelters, in order for you to get some type of help, you first have to commit to something that they already have at the shelter or something like that. I was a part of this food pantry back in when I was in college, and in order for people to get the food, they first have to sit through a whole message first.
That's crazy. Nigga, I'm hungry. Like, what are we doing, bro?
But Lace,
trying to hear about it was a Christian food pantry.
Of course it was. You gotta sit through a sermon to get some oodles and noodles, bro. Like, what are we doing, man?
But here's the kicker. The people that they serve was from the Russian community. They didn't even speak the language.
And as
they didn't even speak the
so they understand nothing.
They didn't understand nothing.
And I bet you they didn't go through the actual process of making sure that they could have translator services.
Correct. Of course not. Did y'all do that, Troy?
First of all,
did y'all do that?
First of all, hold on.
Were you the one up there giving?
No. First of all, let's take a step back. Let's take a step back. I was volunteering as a part of my college.
So you
one of my
passing
classes.
out the oodles and noodles.
I was packaging them up.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I hands them out. You know what I'm saying? I hands them out. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't necessarily doing the message or nothing like that. But I realized that when, Sister Ruella would come to me and ask for something, she didn't use English words. So I was like, we had to find a way to overcome that barrier. So yeah, that's the reason why I was just tapping in that some of the sources, there are hurdles for the unhoused to be able to even use those services, and some of them are just like, I'd much rather live under the underpass than versus going through all these hurdles.
Sure.
Most of that I was saying earlier, and I'm glad we had the conversation because I learned a lot today. You probably didn't learn as much as me and Troy.
I learned a lot, man. I learned a lot.
Dave was spitting game, but no, the reason why I was talking about just like the whole game conversations, because that happens a lot in Black community where we start talking about, even in the workplace, like we talk about corporate, how we feel like we can't advance if we don't play the game, like if we don't code switch and follow.
It was true at one point in time.
Yeah, so I have that. Even I still have that conversation a lot, and it's obviously from my lens because it's what I've been able to accomplish, not necessarily what other people are capable of. So when I speak about not having to play the game or speaking with conviction, is because in most cases I've been able to be the exception to the rule of not playing the game, like not playing the game and still be able to find success. So when I'm talking about it, I'm not talking about some mystical thing that's untrue, because it's like I've done it over and over. Like, so when I'm telling people, it's like, I'm telling you don't have to do that, but people are, I do have to do that.
They do because they not you, man.
Do have to.
Correct.
And but what I'm saying is that there are more me's. There are more me's.
There are more people who are not like you than there are people who are like you.
But I'm saying that there are some people who are like me that could be dormant, because at one point I thought that I had to play the game because I was listening to everyone else telling me, if you want to be successful, you got to play the game. Even growing
And
up,
that's
your
the thing.
parents saying, like, your parents telling you, you got to do this. You got to, if you don't do that, you got to be 5 times better to get this. You got to be this. You got to be, and you hear, we get that training.
Sure.
We get told that. We get taught that. So you grow up thinking, I have to do this because that's what's been taught to me. That's what's been passed down to me. So in order for me to be successful, I got to play the game. I can't do it my way. I can't show up the way I want to show up. And I've just refused, and a lot of times, to play the game, because the first thing I usually ask when people tell me stuff is like, who told you that? Who told you that you had to do that? Who told you that it has to be done that way? Mm-hmm. So then I'm always challenging that way. Who told us that? Who told you that you had to do that? So then
agree.
I go and try, or I go and try, and I say, well, I'm going to be there, but I'm not going to do it the way that you want to do it. And I still find
the nuance in that is you were told, and it's great to ask that question. Who told you that? Why do you think that? But the nuance in it is most people don't have the fortitude to do it differently. You did have the fortitude to say, I'm going to do it this way. And you still met some barriers in that along the way, because we all meet barriers in some capacity. Mm-hmm. You just happen to find success. Most people won't stick with it, so they do find that success.
And I'm glad you said that, because I would reframe the context of my putting all of this on the table. My context and putting all this on the table. To your point, I made a whole career not playing the game myself.
Right,
well.
yeah.
But it's the knowledge of, you have to be able to have knowledge to be able to not opt in or opt out.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, bro, if it's like the Chance the Rapper bar. If you're not the hitter, you might be the lick.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you don't know what's happening while you in these rooms, or if you don't know what game everybody else is playing, you can't figure out how to maneuver through it. And you just end up being a cog in the wheel and getting pushed around because they are playing a game that you are unaware of.
Correct.
That's most people in corporate America. They don't know that. As you climb the ladder in corporate America,
Yes.
it ain't about the job that you do. It's more about the networking,
Absolutely.
going to the happy hours,
Yes.
who are you know,
Absolutely.
trying to, making sure that your boss talks more about your work to the level. Like, it's all those types of things that are happening. That's what's really happening. And most people were like, dang, bro, I can't advance my career. You get your little 2% raise because you're doing everything you're supposed to do. But it's like, yeah, bro, you ain't did the other actual
Correct.
80%.
Yeah.
That's
Correct.
going actually 20% of your job in corporate America is you doing your job. The other 80% is making
How
sure
you move and
that your
shake.
work echoes across and how you moving throughout those buildings and
creating
throughout
the
those
ripples.
hallways. And it's
Creating
the
the
same thing with entrepreneurship too. How is your company known? Where are you connecting with people with? How are you known within the industry that you serve? All those different types of things. But people don't realize that, bro.
That's
People wake
real.
up every morning and they do their routine, and they're just, again, cogs in the wheel. It's literally like the Matrix. It's the example of the Matrix.
You know what? I ain't like a word you just said. Not one word.
But it's the
I
truth
ain't
though.
like not
Keep your
one
mind
word
elevated
you
and your
just-
feet on the
the
ground,
ground.
Troy.
I hate every word you say because you are 100% right. I show up, I do my job, I get my 3%, not 2. I get my little 3%, and I be like, "Well, why aren't I moving up?" And it's because I'm not playing the game.
Right. And we need people like you.
Have to.
That's
You
the
do.
thing. You
Well,
don't have
he
to.
don't
do.
have
He don't have to play the
to
game
be
in the
successful.
building. It depends on your definition of success. Most people ain't even defining
Correct.
success for themselves. Because
Right.
Troy, to your point, I don't want you to feel bad about it. I don't knock people who do that.
Right.
If that's what is successful to you, you taking care of your family, you paying your bills, your wife happy, you can help your cousin out when they call you and they need $200. Bro, all good. But to your point, if you are aspiring for more, or if you're thinking about more and you're trying to figure out why, even in this space, I'm not moving forward, or why my career in general isn't moving forward, you need to look at the framework. The framework in which you exist in, and start to figure out how you
have
navigate
it.
in or around that framework.
There you go.
Because your moving up may not necessarily be moving up at your job.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people that now they boomerang.
Right.
I'm
I'm moving out.
I'm gonna go get this position over here, even if they want to stay in the same organization.
Yeah,
I'll go
yeah.
get the new title over here and gain an extra 30K on my salary because you only giving me 3%, or even 5% if I actually like get the title here. I'll go over here and get the title, get $30,000 more, and then when I come back 2 levels up, now I done doubled what I was getting before.
Yeah.
The game done changed. The game done changed.
That's what I did.
with millennials.
They
and
not
then
playing, but they not playing it though.
they are playing.
They're playing
in a different game.
That's what I'm.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
But a game is still being played. Nonetheless.
I'm not. Y'all keep thinking that I'm arguing about the word "the game."
No,
I'm
we're
not.
not.
The game
Okay.
exists. There's
Yeah.
going to
Correct.
be a game. What I'm saying is I'm refusing. Y'all, I'm gonna simplify it because y'all understand this in any other context, and y'all overcomplicating what I'm saying. Y'all understand what I'm saying inherently. y'all probably disagree with what I'm saying because you think that you have to do that. But I'm simplifying it. We play Uno. Black people play Uno. Uno done told us 10 times publicly that you cannot stack a draw 4 or a draw 2 on top of another draw 2 or draw 4. And black people as a culture have said, I heard what you said, Uno, but we stacking these draw 2s.
Bro, how
Stacking
bro,
this draw
here's
4.
the thing. It's,
all I'm saying is, to your point, understanding the game to be able to function. But what I'm saying is we're making the choice that I'm not playing the game the way that you told me I have to play the game. That is all I'm talking about. We don't have to play the game the way that someone else is telling us that we have to play the game.
Is that Uno is something that you own and it's house rules. I got my Uno cards over here. You gonna play Uno at my house? These are the rules we gonna play. When you're talking about society, when you're talking about jobs, when you talk about these business structures and all that kind of stuff, who owns that? And what game are they playing?
And what cards?
And do you know? Yeah. And what cards have you been dealt? Because it's much harder to win an Uno game if I start with 7 cards and you start with 2.
Very true.
So your concept is right.
It's real.
You talking about how you play at your crib.
Yeah.
But when you got to go to someone else's environment.
When you go to someone else's environment, you don't have to play the game.
You ain't playing Uno at my house because we don't run train. We don't do train 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's got to all be the same color and the same number.
That's demonic, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's demonic. As far as playing Uno, that's wild.
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody stack their cards differently. Sometimes you can do numbers on top of numbers. Sometimes you can't do numbers on top of numbers. Sometimes. Yeah. So whose house are you playing at?
I guess my issue with that, because we always talk about that. One of like my core inherent values or whatever thing that I live by is like being able to be free. Freedom. Mm-hmm. And to me, playing, but just accepting that I have to play the game that someone's telling me, that sounds like bondage to me. That's bondage. It's not freedom in any type of way, and I desire to be free in every way, form, facet. So when I'm talking about not playing the game, it's more so from a mind of freedom. And how do we as a people get free? Like I said, you keep saying someone doesn't have the fortitude to do it the way that I'm doing, but that doesn't mean that's not possible. It is possible. So we saying like fortitude. Someone doesn't have the fortitude. Someone's not capable. Someone may not have the skill set. But what I'm saying is, if we keep telling everybody that the only way to be successful is to play the game, because you're black, you have to play the game the way that is being told to you because you don't look like.
I don't think anybody said that.
But that pretty much is what.
If that's what you took, then you're wrong.
Because everybody's
when I say no,
everybody's playing the game, black or not.
I'm saying we're playing the game, but you choose to play the game how you choose to play it.
But that's not what y'all were saying.
That's exactly what we were saying.
That's not what y'all were saying earlier.
That's exactly what was.
That's not what you were saying earlier. That's what you're saying right now.
That's exactly what.
No, earlier you were saying that if you want to be successful in this space, you're going to have to play the game.
Right, but you're talking about politics.
Right, yes,
and that's I'm talking about that conversation as well. Wherever we want to put it, that is how y'all were explaining it earlier. If you wanted to be successful in that space, you had to play the game. That is what y'all were saying.
Right,
and
playing the game is number one, understanding the game.
We got past that already. Understand the game, you can't change the game to you. But earlier when I asked specifically, so y'all are saying that there's no way to be successful unless you play the game.
Correct. You are playing the game.
You have to play the game.
But when you said play the game, were you saying play the game in general or play the game the way that the game has been designed for you to play?
I was just saying play the game. You have to play. Okay. You can't change. You can't win if you don't play.
And that is what I was saying earlier. I was playing the game. I wasn't playing the way that you're telling me I have to play the game.
But you're
and that was what y'all were arguing. So I'm not
arguing
about playing the game.
No.
That was never my argument.
We weren't talking about this.
You're like, but you're still playing the game. I never said I wasn't playing the game.
No. You asked.
I agree. I was playing the game. I'm not playing it the way that you are telling me I have to play the game.
Bro, the original question, and I can ground it with this. The original question was, can I be successful in the game of politics by being honest? And the answer was no.
Because I would have to play the game.
Exactly. Correct. And sometimes it requires you to because of the way that the game is structured.
Right.
Politics does not lend itself to honesty, Melvin.
So to answer your question, it remains the same. The game of life, that's different. But specifically speaking on politics, the answer is still no.
So are y'all listening?
The answer is still no.
We having two different conversations right now. Because I'm not. Can we make a distinction because I'm not disagreeing with what you. I think that y'all think I'm disagreeing with you.
No, I don't think.
And I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm really not. I'm literally just talking about. Literally, this is all I'm talking about.
being able to play the game that you want to play the way that you want to play it, and not receiving that there's no other way for me to be successful unless I play the game the way that it's structured for me to play.
Okay, so
That
can I
is
make
all
this,
that I'm saying.
Can I make this distinction? There is the game, and then there's a game. Regardless, a game's gonna be played. Regardless, yes, you can play a game, which is one that you prefer to play, but just know it's a part of the game.
Right.
So if you play the way that you want to play, you might not be as successful if the game calls for specific elements of how it needs to be played.
Mm-hmm.
But you still can play your game, and no problem. But just know, unless you playing the game,
And that's what I'm talking about.
the percentage of success.
That's the disconnect that I'm breaking apart.
Yeah,
in
so
this conversation.
And without
A game versus the game.
And the only reason
y'all
I'm-
keep saying that you have to play the game to be successful, and you keep saying,
Dave
and you keep
explicitly
telling
stated.
everybody else that they have to play the game
they do.
to be successful. If the only way to be successful is for me to play the game the way that it's designed,
Not
for
the
me
way
to
it's
play
designed. You adding the way it's designed.
and that's what I'm saying. It's
because
the
you're saying
additional
a
stuff.
game and the game. A game meaning my game, the game meaning the game, the way that it is structured, and the way that people play it. That is what you're saying. I'm over here, you're the game.
But at the end of the day, Mel, you're a part of the game.
I've never denied being part of the game.
So if you're a part of the game,
You're playing.
You're playing a game.
I never disagreed with that concept.
But
I'm
he's
telling you, I've never disagreed
coming
with
back-
what
he-
you're saying.
He's trying to come back and say, but I want to play the game
the way I want to play the game.
And we
I'm
said
saying
that's
that I can
cool.
play the game the way I want to play it and be successful.
Okay,
But
cool.
we keep telling people
No,
that they
I'm not
cannot
telling
be
any-
successful.
I'm not telling
unless
nobody
they
that.
play
That's
the
why I said
game
let me free.
the way that it is structured.
Nobody
No,
said anything about the
nobody
way it's
said
being
that.
structured. Once you added the my way, and we went into the whole thing about knowing what game you're playing,
Right.
Being able to,
Correct.
So we're not
Okay.
disagreeing with you. I'm just
Correct.
saying I don't leave it at that point, bro, because so many. I in my lifetime and in the last 10, 12 years, I've had so many of these conversations where I will have a full blown rundown with somebody, and niggas don't make no changes. Niggas don't arm themselves to understand the game that they playing. They don't understand how they want to play the game. They don't understand. They just continue to wake up every day and do the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that is very annoying as somebody who is advocating on your behalf. Because somebody who's in a leadership role or somebody who's doing advocacy work, you need people behind you in the context of any game that's being played. You got to
Right.
show that you got legs. And when you got people who aren't tapped in, who are you trying to represent? Or they be like, oh yeah, bro, go ahead. Play that game and be our voice. But then you need cats to show up and send emails and do the things. They don't understand it. Like, bro, what you asking me to do, this is your part.
Right.
And if you don't know that that's happening, like I try and that's why I be super nuanced in these conversations, because if you leave with these blanket concepts, I'm gonna play the game my way.
Yeah.
And then Monday punch them in the mouth.
Right.
And they boss come and they like, yes, a boss.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So play
So-
whatever
so
game.
office play-
End of the day, play whatever motherfucking game you want, my nigga.
But if you ain't going, yeah.
A, D, the, and there.
You feel me?
I don't give a damn.
I just want you to show up different. I'm letting you know what you're dealing with because I want you to show up different. Don't have a conversation with me about the game and then do the same thing on Monday. Do something different. I know you're gonna do something different. I know you're gonna do something different. I know you're gonna do something different.
Yeah, do whatever you
Bro,
want,
that's
my
all I'm trying to
nigga.
get
I need,
people to-
but
I
just
need
know
you to do something
The
different.
game is being played.
That's all I'm trying to get people to do. Is
and
to do
we
something
agreed with
different,
that.
bro. That's
You
it.
add stuff and then it creates nuance.
not
And you be like,
adding stuff,
nobody want to listen to me. What I was saying was this. Nigga, shut the hell up. That is not what we said.
This has been another edition of the Mary B's podcast.
See, this is what I've been talking about.
Dr. Life Coach Lay,
Misunderstand me, because
Melly
I know I
Man,
articulated that perfectly
T.
fine.
Roy, Dave Hasweek.
I
Thanks
know
for
I
tapping
articulated
in,
that
man.
perfectly
Shit,
fine.
this
That's what
nigga
I'm
over here
talking
talking about a motherfucking
Determined to
game.
misunderstand
Game ain't
me,
being
nigga.
played, motherfucker. Goddamn.
And we out.
Oh my God.
Bruh. Y'all be pissing me off, yo. Y'all know what I be saying, bruh. I know y'all know what I be saying.
Oh my
Determined to misunderstand me.
Nah, bro. You
God, no.
I be adding pieces.
Because
I
you
can-
said once you said